diseases that have social impact. I know you mentioned filariasis, among others. Give us a sense of some of the work that you have done there that has made a difference and still will where there are needs even today.
Well, I've been working in Haiti since 1977, and I would say for about the first half of that time, I was working on maternal and child health problems, which is always a priority for developing countries because the highest mortality is among children. So I was working with breastfeeding promotion programs and diarrheal disease control programs, maternal mortality, and so forth. But in the last 15 years, I've been focused more on adult-focused tropical and infectious diseases, including filariasis and tuberculosis. And the point I want to make here is that even in the medical sector, with all of the money available internationally, it's very disease-focused, okay? So there are huge programs to fund malaria services, or TB services, or filariasis services. So, for example, in the program I was working with in Leogan, there were millions of dollars being funneled in for filariasis. But none of that money could be used for anything else. So you had people who were, you know, in life-threatening situations, needing basic medical care. None of that money could go to them. And filariasis is not life-threatening. It doesn't kill you. It's extremely debilitating, but people lived. Whereas you had people who were in life-threatening situations and couldn't get basic medical care because internationally these big programs fund specific diseases only.
So how will this earthquake now impact the progress on conditions that are even now a priority? How will the quake impact progress in terms of diseases and programs?
There will be a hiatus in everything. Everything will shut down. You know, children will miss the rest of this school year. I'll just give you a specific example. There's a filariasis elimination program that has been in place for 10 years in the Leogan community. That will probably be wiped out for a year or two, and they may have to start all over from scratch because this type of program has to be sustained and kept going on a regular basis to maintain its effectiveness. So everything is going to be affected.
So the earthquake will not just be the earthquake, but it will be things that were being put in place to help the quality of life of individuals. Those programs and those issues will now be put on the back burner.
Yes, and everything will be diverted into just basic survival restoration of building homes, restoring water supply and electricity. Just those basic things is going to absorb all of the energy and resources for the next year or so.
And Doc, would you say that the possibility is there now that even more with all the dead bodies that are lying around and that have not yet been found, is there the possibility that there might be different type of diseases that might be popping up as we continue in this disaster?
There's always a risk of infection when you have decomposing bodies, but I don't think that that's going to be a serious problem. I do think that the bodies will be buried in enough time before that becomes a serious problem. And the Haitian people are very sensitive to caring, lovingly caring for their dead, and they're going to do it in a very respectful, spiritual, and in a culturally acceptable manner.
Because I realized on CNN that the Haitian folks were not given the chance to tag the bodies or to allow the family to identify. The time was just not there for them to do that. There was not a system where folks could have account for their bodies or tag the bodies or mark the graves. There was just this big hole that was dug, and there was this dump truck that was dumping thousands of bodies.
It's just so sad that is happening, and that's going to be a source of tremendous heartbreak and anguish for families who won't know what happened to their loved ones.
So true, so true. all we can do here is continue to pray for the people of Haiti and continue to talk about Haiti, even years after this disaster. I believe that Haiti now has the opportunity, the international community now have the opportunity to work with the people of Haiti to build a better and a stronger Haiti. I believe that it will just get better for them with a proper building code and other things that are needed for the development of that country.
I agree. If there's any good that might come of this, is that I really think that this is going to lead finally to a serious, long-term, in-depth development of Haiti, not just from the United States, but from the rest of the world.
Yes.
And it's too bad that a major catastrophe had to bring it on, but it's long overdue.
Well, Dr. Coriel, I tell you, if I were listening to Radio Land, I would sense your expertise on Haiti, and I would sense that you have such a commanding knowledge of the issues down there, even prior to the quake. And with the quake, how the quake would complex these issues and set the entire nation back. So we thank you for your time. We thank you for your expertise and the work you continue to do down there at my old school, University of South Florida. And we pray that you will continue to be a part of the work in Haiti, as well as continue to be a part of the work down there in South Florida.
You're welcome, and thank you for inviting me, and good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Coriel. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And presently, we for our listening audience, our number at the studio is 917-668-6245. We don't have much time left, but for those of you who would like to give your support or voice your ideas and your through ways of support, you can call us. We just have a few minutes left. You can call us at 917-668-6245. The lines are open now for our callers.
Yeah, and I think this program today has been one that we all enjoyed doing it. We did it because these are our brothers and our sisters in Haiti, and we hope that our Radio 9 listeners will pledge and they will follow through on the information we have provided, so that some man, woman, boy or girl life can be bettered and they can be an improvement going forward. And like our last interviewee said, let's keep Haiti on the front burner instead of the back burner. So a year from now, in our minds, Haiti can be there, so we can do what we need to do to get more money, more funding, more development in that place. At this time, we want to give listeners a chance, or even the people in Haiti and their relatives a chance to hook up with Jesus Christ. We have someone who is calling, and I think the person is calling.
Hello?
We will take the call. Okay. Okay, so we have someone who's calling on the line, and I think this is the last call we will take for today.
Can you hold a minute, please? We have a call on the line, and she's recommending, she did not want to go online, but she's recommending that we repeat some of the websites where contributions can be made, and so we'll ask either Dr. Ron or Dr. Desmond Miller to give us some of those sites. I know we have the ADRA site, and we have Pastor Pierce information from Church of Lords in New York, and so we will give you those information. Thank you, caller.
Okay, the first website we want to give you, the one with the children, the orphan children who are living with HIV back in Haiti. The website is C as in cat, H as in happy, O as in orange, AIDS, AIDS.org. That's www.CHOAIDS.org. The second website, this one for ADRA, is www.A as in apple, D as in David, R as in rabbit, A as in apple.org.